Good afternoon, everybody. We've got a couple of people still coming into the meeting, so I'll just give it a couple of more seconds before we start. Good afternoon, everybody. So we're going to get started. We've got quite a bit of content to cover. Today we're going to go through the Power Platform Copilot wave release, talk about the new features and the smarter AI. So what we'll do is I'm going to hand you over to Kieran. Kieran will take you through everything. If there is any questions that come up during the session, please just drop it into the Q&A and we'll try to answer them as we go along. If we can't, we'll pick them all up at the end. And anything we can't answer today, we will come back to you on, but we will go through everything today and I'll hand you over to Kieran.
Thanks, Fen. Good afternoon, everyone. So the agenda for today is to cover the Power Platform Release Wave 1 for 2026. So it's quite a chunky list. We're not going to be able to cover absolutely everything that Microsoft released. I think the PDF ended up being about 600 plus pages. So we'll try and cram as much as we can into this session. But we'll be going through Power Automate, Dataverse, Power Apps, Copilot Studio, Power Pages, and finally Governance and Admin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at and talk about what Microsoft are focusing on per topic, and then I've picked out some interesting features and we'll shine a spotlight on them and dive into those into a little bit more detail. So first up, we have Power Automate. So focuses for Microsoft are smarter automation, so making automations more reliable so that they can adapt when things change, using AI to handle more complex tasks and get work done accurately. Maker productivity and collaboration is so it's easier for people to build and manage automation, introducing tools to help teams work together, track changes, reuse setup, and recover from mistakes. Process intelligence is allowing organizations to better understand how work actually happens. New insights help identify delays, spot improvements, and see what's working across end-to-end processes. And finally, enterprise governance and licensing. So admins get clearer visibility into what's being used and where. That helps control costs, manage risks, and keep things compliant. So first of all, for Power Automate, we've got the feature that allows us to view property value expanded inline. So this one is something that I'm particularly interested and excited in. So essentially, this is going to show clearer structured value previews for dynamic content expressions, objects, and inputs. So what that basically means, or my understanding, is that as we go through and build our flows and we use expressions and dynamic content and we're pulling data from all these different sources, rather than having to actually test it and then see with the data and the errors that we inevitably get, we'll be able to see that as we're kind of building the flow. And that will lead to reducing the need to open additional panels or run the flow to understand data shapes, as I just mentioned, improves visibility of what data is being passed between those actions. So as I touched on, those benefits mean makers can instantly verify whether values look correct, reduces mistakes caused by unclear or ambiguous dynamics tokens, leading to more efficient, less clicking through side panes and fewer test runs needed. So this is in preview in June and also released in June. I wasn't able to grab a screenshot of what this potentially will look like, but this screenshot that you're seeing on screen at the moment is from Logic Apps in their unified interface. So you can see, I'm not sure if we've got many Power Automate users on this call, but in the current Cloudflow developer or the UI, you don't have this log, this nice structured log where you can see everything, the timestamps, if it's failed, if it's succeeded. So I'm imagining that we'll have something similar to this with the added feature of being able to obviously use those previews of dynamic content. So this one is pretty straightforward, but nevertheless very useful. So being able to restore accidentally deleted flows. As it says on the tin, we're able to restore accidentally deleted flows from the portal. So that will allow flow owners, co-owners, and environment admins to recover deleted flows quickly and easily within a time frame. We don't know that time frame as of yet, but in Dataverse you do have the ability to recover deleted records or rows, and that time frame is set to up to 30 days. So I can imagine it'll be around that similar time frame. Benefits obviously it prevents loss of automation and allows people to recover that work a lot quicker, saving organizations time and effort. So it is possible to do this at the moment. It is just a bit of a pain and a bit finicky. So you can actually manually trigger a flow and then dive into some metadata and restore the deleted flow. But the keyword being in the overview is that it'll be directly from the portal. So again, using my imagination a little bit here, but I'm assuming there'll be a kind of recycling bin or similar, so we can go in and recover those deleted records. There was quite a lot of focus around desktop flows. There was quite a few features around desktop flows. So desktop flows are getting version control. So again, if we've got any cloud flow users at the moment, you'll be very familiar with version control. And for those of you who don't know, version control essentially allows you to save drafts and publish versions when ready. You can view the version history, see what was changed, who made the change, when it was changed. You can recover those previous versions as well, so you revert back to a previous iteration. That obviously improves accuracy and reliability of those automations and supports compliance and auditability. So you can see from the screenshot, this is the Cloudflow at the moment. We can see that version history. So this will now be available in desktop flows. So moving on to Dataverse, and Microsoft's focus is for Dataverse, you've got being able to use Dataverse in WorkIQ. So WorkIQ is essentially the brain behind Copilot. So that means that business data is now going to be available directly in Microsoft 365 Copilot. So people can ask questions and get work done through natural conversation. Agents can use that data to make smarter organization-specific decisions, which is going to be really useful. Agent programmability and extensibility. Developers can easily adapt and extend agents to fit their organization, and makes it easier to build, test, and connect agents into existing apps and automated processes. And then finally, always useful, storage management. So admins will get clearer insights into how storage is being used, along with recommendations to manage it better, which will help control costs and understand storage usage across your various systems. So we've got prompt columns as a feature. So this one has actually been in preview since 2025 and it's being fully released this month. So there is a column type at the moment in Dataverse, which you can see on the screenshot. You've got data type prompt in brackets preview. So it basically will allow you to use Copilot to summarize, classify, extract, or generate content, and it actually outputs that as a field in the Dataverse column that you are able to query on and search and do all the stuff you do with a normal column within Dataverse. So that improves data quality by turning your raw data into usable information, helps users process feedback and inquiries faster with summaries and sentiment, and enables smarter automation by making AI insights available to apps, flows, and reports. So you may have seen some examples of this in some way at the moment on cases. You've got your case summary, you've got a bit of sentiment analysis, but what this allows you to do is to take all that good stuff with AI and put it into your kind of custom tables or tables that don't have it by default. We've also got improving the bulk delete user experience. So In Microsoft's words, they are significantly improving reliability and safety of bulk deletes. We'll have actionable error handling with an intuitive UI. And this is a really positive one. It's now going to be solution aware. So we can deploy bulk delete jobs from dev to UAT to prod. That previously wasn't possible. Benefits, obviously, having a clear and detailed failure messages makes it easier to identify why a record may not have been deleted or skipped over. And as I just mentioned, ensures consistent behavior from development to production. Being able to add a bulk delete job as a component to a solution means it'll be consistent across all your environments. So this one is going to be in preview at some point this month and will be available fully next month. So, Power Apps. Microsoft are focusing on a modern look, so apps have a cleaner, more consistent design by default. I'm not sure if we have any Power Apps users on the call at the moment, but you were previously able to switch to the old version and then toggle back to the new designer. That is being removed as of probably this month or the next month. So everybody will be using the new designer moving forward. So we've got mobile and offline improvements. So mobile apps will work better on the go with improved offline support and real-time access to data when connected. Search improvement, so finding information is faster and easier. And then the theme for most of these topics, you've got AI enhancement. So AI features more widely available, easier to use, helping people understand data and take actions more quickly. So enable online mode to access data. So this will allow users in Canvas apps to switch easily between offline and online mode. Previously, when we did this, it took quite a while to get that live data and sync everything in. So now Microsoft have made an improvement so that when you switch it on, users can instantly load that real-time data. And the app will also remember the last option you had toggled. So usability's got a massive improvement there. So benefits are instant access to up-to-date data without having to wait for the syncs. Improve productivity, especially for people maybe on the go and having to input data into Dynamics when they don't have a signal or a Wi-Fi connection. And then use control behavior. So obviously being able to switch between offline and online quite easily. So this one is in preview at the moment, will be available fully next month. And you can see there about 4 down, you've got allow users to work in online mode. So that's the toggle that we can turn on at the moment. So enhanced search and grid filters and lookups. So any Dynamics users will be familiar with how Dataverse had a big improvement over the last couple of years, the Dataverse search. So this is essentially come into your Canvas apps. So the lookup fields and grid filters now use the Dataverse search. So that supports your contains, based matching, fuzzy matching, and intuitive record finding. So rather than having to know the exact name or doing the wildcard search by using an asterisk, that is a thing of the past. And it will display the highlighted matching terms just so you know it's returned the correct record that you were looking for. So that makes record searching faster and more forgiving for users and reduces errors by handling partial matches and typos. So you can see there on that screenshot, that is the Dataverse search in our demo environment. So I've searched for Ethel, and you can see that we've got multiple contacts with that name. We've got an account and we've got opportunities, and it's highlighted Ethel in each of those findings to basically clarify why it's returned those records. Use generative pages globally. So this one was only available in the US. It has been around now for probably at least 12 months, maybe more. I attended a Power Platform meetup at the start of 2025, and this was shown at that meetup, but they set their environment to the US and it only worked in US formats and US dates and currency, etc. So generative pages is now available globally. So it'll allow users to use real language and prompts to create an app from, from language without having a fully extensive understanding of how those apps are. So makers can instruct generative tools to produce pages in the local languages and formats, supports user-specific language, numbers, and date formatting, as I just explained. And that enables globally consistent AI-generated app experiences, and then basically just covering off the same kind of thing, improves localization by respecting languages and formatting norms. So you can see in that example, if somebody's describing a page, build a page, they can add in their tables from Dataverse, and then it will go ahead and actually build everything for you just by a prompt. So that is going to be fully available, no preview from this month. Okay, next up we have Copilot Studio focuses. So this is going to be easier agent creation. So Microsoft is making it much simpler to build AI agents, even for people who aren't developers. Better use of company knowledge. So this is kind of leading into the Work IQ Dataverse feature as well, or focus. So Copilot can answer questions using your internal documents, systems, and data. Smarter, more natural conversations, so Copilot can understand questions better and respond in a more human conversational way. AI-powered actions and automation, so Copilot can now take actions, not just answer questions, by automatically choosing the right tools and steps. And more controlled testing and visibility, so Microsoft is improving configuration testing, analytics, and governance for Copilot. So this one in particular, I think is really exciting and could be really powerful. So connect agents to any external data with custom MCP servers. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. And think of an MCP server as a controlled toolbox that essentially tells AI what it's allowed to use, what it can do, so the actions it can take, and then which systems it can touch. So in terms of an overview, that lets Copilot and AI agents safely connect to other business systems. It acts as a controlled bridge between AI and tools, external tools like DocuSign and DevOps, and it allows teams to create reusable, approved tool sets for AI agents. So, and as I mentioned a little bit earlier, that enables AI to take real actions, not just answer questions. So if we use DocuSign as an example, we, in theory, could set up an agent that's connected to something like Dataverse, but also DocuSign. We could ask it a question, we could have it look at an opportunity, let's say, and then that opportunity is a particular stage. Then we could get it to actually send a contract to the person from Dataverse, and it will connect directly to DocuSign, do everything for you, and then give you the output you need at the end. So previously, it may be able to tell you some information within Dataverse, depending where you were using Copilot or an agent, but it wouldn't have been able to actually connect to a different product or a different system like DocuSign and take that action for you. So you can imagine how many other systems you'll be able to do that with and how empowering that will be in certain scenarios. So that improves security and control by limiting what AI can access and do, makes AI solutions reusable across multiple agents and tools, and helps organizations adopt AI with confidence and governance. So you can see there we've got a little image of what a model context protocol server kind of setup looks like. It's not something I've personally played around with, but I'm definitely interested and excited to see how our clients will implement that. Define custom metrics for analytics. So this one fairly self-explanatory. So makers can define custom success metrics for Copilot Studio agents. So you can measure outcomes by analyzing agent user conversation transcripts and calculating results for each metrics. Helps makers iterate and improve agents using the metric results over time. So as we know, organizations all kind of have different KPIs or unique KPIs and different metrics for success. So what this will allow you to do is, create your agents and then actually create your own custom KPIs of what you want to measure against. So an example could be something like a customer service agent that may be taking questions about products, and that may lead to a sale. So what you may end up having is a agent KPI that tracks customer service to a sale. So that makes it easier to prove business impact and return on investment using those metrics that match against your organization's priorities, gives clear insights into conversation outcomes without manually reviewing those transcripts, enables teams to compare performance across scenarios and spot what's working. So that one will be in preview and released next month. Power Pages. So we've got build and deploy with AI coding tools. So again, big topic, AI. You can use AI to help build websites faster, and Power Pages will be able to take care of things like security, hosting, and reliability. Site analytics and server logs, so you can see how your site is performing and how people are using it, making it easier to fix and spot any issues. End user transaction auditing, so you can track what users do on your site, support audits, and meet compliance needs. Security agent for site creators, so site builders can help setting up security correctly while creating the site. Security agent for admins, so admins can monitor sites for threats and harmful content and act quickly if any issues arise. And then portal authentication enhancements, so sign-ins are more secure and works with stricter identity provider requirements. So again, AI. So this now is being able to build a full website, build Power Pages sites faster with AI tools. So you'll now be able to create a full Power Page site from start to finish. Not only will it do the content for you and the design, it now has an understanding of the security roles and permissions, so it can do all of that for you by, one big prompt, let's say. And it generates modern production-ready web apps designed for Power Apps. So obviously benefits, faster development with fewer mistakes, more accurate security set up by default, reduces reliance on deep Power Pages expertise, something I'm not entirely familiar with, so this will be a massive benefit for myself, and get sites live quicker with confidence. So you can see an example there. We've got our Power Page website and a Copilot pane on the right. It may not necessarily work like that, but there may be a big prompt similar to the Power Page or the Power App one we looked at a little bit earlier. Detect threats and risks with admin security agent. So this protects Power Pages websites by monitoring and mitigating security threats and helps strengthen governance and can identify and address issues like abuse, spam, and content violation. So apologies for the pixelated image. This was pulled directly from Microsoft's documentation, but it was quite a small image. But if you can just about make it out, you've got the ability to set up custom alerts there, and there's threats for unusual sign-in patterns, DDoS attack, multiple failed login attempts. Obviously benefits, deliverable, actionable insights, automated policy-driven actions and alerts through the admin center, Teams and email, and admins can maintain secure sites with minimal effort, reducing risk and improve oversight. So if something did happen, you could have it send a message to a Teams chat or an email, which would be really useful. Tracking performance in Monitor Hub. So Monitor Hub is an existing part of Power Apps at the moment, but it's only applicable to certain products. So Power Pages will now be integrated into the Monitor Hub. So makers, site owners, and admins can view performance and usage insights in one place. And then the metrics are available directly within the Power Platform Admin Center. That obviously reduces support effort, so you can see any issues easily, helps improve site performance and user experience, and enables data-driven decisions using session load time and error metrics. So this screenshot is the monitor for Fabric. So you can see you've got name, status, item type, start time, submitted by location. We can expect similar columns, but maybe some more specific to websites. So it could be the page that they were on. It could be a login failure. You maybe have the user that tried doing it, the browser they were using. So there could be quite a lot of useful information in there. And our last topic we're discussing today is governance and admin focuses. So that is managed security. So makes sure AI agents are built and used safely. Strong security rules protecting real data and systems so everyone can work with confidence. Manage governance, so get clear visibility and control over how agents are created and used. Spot risks easier and earlier, making sure only approved changes are made live. And then managed operations. So this will help organizations just run things more smoothly, control costs. Usage will be monitored, unused license are recovered and issues are detected quickly to reduce disruption. So we've got detect operational health issues across Power Platform resources quickly. So this does exist in some capacity at the moment. So this is an enhancement on an existing feature where we can create alerts for resources. But previously you could only trigger it every 24 hours. So, there could be some significant downtime or some business operations that are affected. So now we can run this. So obviously that leads to helping organizations detect issues quickly and then results in less downtime and disruptions. So again, slightly pixelated. This is also pulled from the Microsoft documentation, but we can see there we've got a couple of alerts that have been set up, and you've got the triggered alerts on the right hand side and the triggered custom alerts on the left hand side, and they've been tiered into high, medium, and low. And then the final feature that we're going to be looking at today is the Power Platform usage page. So some of you may have already seen this page. It is in preview, has been in preview since February and will be released in June. So this adds a new page within Power Platform Admin Center and gives you analytics for Power Apps, Power Automate, and Copilot Studio. So you've got a breakdown daily and monthly with how usage is changing over time, helps you see adoption by apps, flows, and agents, including where the usage is happening across those environments. That makes it easier to track adoption and engagement across platforms, helps identify most used apps, flows, and agents, what's delivering value. You've got the flip side of that as well, so you could drill into maybe some apps and flows that aren't being used as much and potentially think about refining them or retiring them. And then it will also show who created the most used resources, so helping with recognition and support planning. You can also see who's been using. It doesn't show it in that screenshot, but there is another element further down that will give you the kind of individual runs, so you can see the users that have run them, when they ran them, etc. So that is everything I was able to cram in. I think I did quite a good job doing that in around 25, 26 minutes. There is a lot more stuff. As I mentioned, the PDF was around 600 plus pages. But on this website that we can see on screen at the moment, releaseplans.microsoft.com, that covers every feature that is currently available to test, currently in the pipeline to be released further down the line. And not only is it Power Platform, it's everything from dynamic sales to customer service to customer insight. So it covers a lot of stuff. So I definitely recommend checking that one out. So before I hand back over to Sven, were there any questions, Sven, that
There,
that came
there is
throughout that?
there's a couple. I can answer the first one myself. Linda, yes, this is being recorded. I know you just said you got held up for the first 10 minutes, but yes, this is a recorded session, so a link will be shared with you afterwards once it's all been processed. There's one over statement from Simon. He said, I didn't know you could roll back a Cloudflow to a previous version. That's more
I'm
of a
pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Maybe I'm mistaken. Let me double check that one. But I thought you could look at the previous versions and roll it back. But maybe I'm getting my wires crossed.
perfect. I would say thank you very much. Is there any more questions before we close the session off? If there's any more, just continue to type, but just wanted to bring attention to you to our upcoming events. So we've got a couple more events this month. I mean, we're halfway through the month already. We still got 3 events to go through. We've got in-person event in London, our TechSmart event, Contact Center Part 2 event, which is on the 28th, and then from GP to Growth episode, it's our 3rd episode of that. That's on the 30th of the month. And then we've got a couple of more sessions in May, another in-person event, and then a 4th episode in our GP Growth at the end of May. Got a couple of summer events in June, more again, in-person events, a non-profit customer roundtable and a finance roundtable. And then we've got a conference, CGF conference, and at the end of June, we've got our last webinar for the GP Growth, which is customer success in the cloud. Ongoing partnerships equals great success. Like I say, thank you to Kieran for all that. It looks like there's some great things coming, and hopefully we can all take advantage of those. But if there's no, oh, maybe there is one more question just popped in. Let's just say thank you for covering it all here in 30 minutes, so well done. But yeah,
Yeah.
if there's no more questions, we'll close the meeting off, and we will look forward to seeing you at our next events.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
much,
everyone.
all.